TMZ just dropped a massive story. They're claiming Donald Trump is actually thinking about commuting Diddy's sentence. Yeah, you heard that right.
Diddy could be a free man by the end of this week. We broke a story last night that Donald Trump is seriously considering commuting his sentence.
And before you think this is just another clickbait headline, apparently it's not. TMZ's crew managed to catch up with Diddy's lawyer, and when they asked if there's any truth behind the possible pardon rumors, his answer definitely made people raise an eyebrow.
A lot of news coming out. We reported a story about a pardon.
Yes.
Yeah.
All I'll tell you is I think your story was accurate. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I mean, this week some decision will be made. What's the feeling?
I have no idea about timing. All I know is everything that I read in that article looked accurate.
Well, look, that's probably some relief to Diddy's team, you know. And
I don't know. I think they're moving ahead. I don't think anybody is counting on anything, and
right.
I think the reporting was accurate.
How did you hear he's faring since sentencing?
I don't know. I mean, I hopefully we'll see him soon and find out.
I guess lastly, I would ask, what do you think his future looks like?
I have the utmost confidence in Sean. I think Sean will make a comeback the likes of which people are not expecting. So I've watched him over. I've known him for a long time. I have the utmost confidence in him.
In whatever sphere. I mean, he's done business, the music,
he's iconic
the
in a lot of ways, and I think he'll make a comeback. I'll leave it at that.
You don't think that he'll lose some fans, or you think?
And part of character is when you fall down, you get back up.
Hey, thank you.
The second TMZ's headline went live. Trump to pardon Diddy. The internet lost it. Within minutes, hashtags like #FreeDiddy and #NoPardonForDiddy were blowing up across every platform. Fans, media outlets, even a few politicians started digging for confirmation. According to TMZ's insider sources, Trump wasn't planning to fully pardon Diddy, but was seriously considering commuting his sentence, which basically means cutting him loose before he even spends a day in prison.
Before he's even in a prison.
Right.
He's still at Brooklyn MDC waiting to find out which prison he's going to. But this is something that President Trump is considering. And the fact that he's considering it is causing a bit of an internal war at the White House, because not everybody in the administration thinks this is a good idea.
So we are told this, and this is coming from somebody high up in the White House. We broke that story, incidentally, that right after the sentencing, his legal team, Diddy's legal team, got in touch with somebody who had the president's ear, and that the president was looking at the paperwork.
And the president acknowledged that
like 2 days later.
Yeah, in the Oval Office.
2 days later.
Yeah.
So we now know that Trump is considering, we're told that he's kind of waffling, he's going back and forth on this, but there are staffers in the White House telling him, don't do it. So we put this story up last night, and the White House immediately came out and said, fake news. The story is fake news, and then they ended up saying the president makes that decision. Well, we also said that our source, the key source, said the exact same thing, that even though some staffers are telling him not to, that decision, ultimately, he will do what he wants to do.
That's what he does.
I'm confused about what the president's denial was.
By the way, just so you know, we absolutely stand by the story.
It's 100%
It's hard
true.
to find.
I'm confused with what the denial is. What was the claim of fake news? We know that he was considering it. He said in the Oval Office that he was considering it.
That he was aware of.
And
we said as early as this week, there is new development.
And there
are new developments that some of the staff is telling him don't do it, that he has gone back and forth on it, but that it could happen as early as the end of this week.
But he doesn't say...
And very clear, not a pardon, a commutation. That was made clear.
The difference being a pardon, he's still guilty of the crimes, the commutation just doesn't have to serve the sentence.
But we were specifically told commutation, not pardon.
But what is he denying? Is he denying that he is considering it? Is he denying that he's vacillating on it? Or is he saying, I'm never going to give this guy a pardon?
Well, he's not saying
anything.
Somebody in the White House, but they're speaking on his behalf. They're not speaking without his consent.
They're just saying fake news.
Now that might sound like a small detail, but it's a big deal. A commutation means Diddy would still technically be guilty, just not behind bars. And for a lot of people, especially Cassie, that idea was infuriating. Reports say Cassie was furious, calling the whole thing a betrayal of every survivor watching this case unfold. For her, it wasn't just about Diddy going free early. It was about what message that sends. That when you've got enough money, fame, and connections, even justice can be bent. And honestly, this is exactly the kind of thing Jaguar Wright had warned people about months.
He was trying to buy 3 jurors. You want to know what didn't happen during that federal trial this year? The jury wasn't sequestered. There was nothing but YouTubers all over the place, in that courtroom, outside that courtroom, watching what trains those jurors got on to go home.
Do you feel like they did us an injustice by not, and I know it's the feds, but should they have put this trial on court TV or something? Should we have had a visual like history of this trial for?
It really don't matter. Like, that's the thing, this trial, the sentencing, the verdict, all the hyperbole, all of the pomp and circumstance, all of the this, all of that, it means nothing. It means nothing. This was all done for the public's entertainment. This was all done to get people like me to be quiet. This was all done to give weirdos like Vladimir Lyuski and Torre the ability to constantly challenge and try to check my veracity, my actuality, my truth, and to get the public to not believe whistleblowers like me. That's why this was done. This ain't even about Diddy. It's about the rest of them. Do you know they're still having white parties?
5. That's probably why this rumor hit so hard. Because TMZ swore their story was airtight. Their insider allegedly got the info straight from someone within the White House, claiming Trump had already been briefed on Diddy's case and was going back and forth on the decision.
I think Diddy's team royally screwed up, because if he would have bent the knee during sentencing
And just said something about being prosecuted here when there's
As
very
opposed to
little
back
evidence.
channeling it.
Right.
They wanted to,
If he
you
had done
wanted
the
to bend the
public-
knee in the middle of court, open.
But
you know,
here's
with
the
reporters.
reality, that Diddy's team, what they're telegraphing to the White House is, look at the similarities Donald Trump has with Diddy. They're saying that the Justice Department was weaponized against both of them. That's their argument. That Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, prosecuted him. That he was prosecuted for racketeering, which they're saying was never a thing, and the jury agreed. He was prosecuted for sex trafficking. The jury said no.
Right.
And the only thing that he got convicted of was the Mann Act, which he never would have been prosecuted if that was the only thing alone that they had prosecuted him for. So they're saying, look, we're simpatico. We're like you.
Overreaching prosecutors,
And
right.
that's how they're trying to reach Trump.
What I don't see is what's really in this for Trump to do it, right? And because normally when the president makes these decisions, it's transactional. There's something he feels he's going to get from it.
What do you get from George Santos?
Well, I was about to say, that's what gives me pause. Because when I think about Diddy at this point, because he didn't publicly bow, then it feels like, well, what's in it for Trump?
Yeah.
But I would say the same thing about George Santos. What's in it?
There's nothing
what was
in it for Trump.
There's
I
nothing
see
in it.
more
yes,
in it.
there is.
I see more in it for Diddy than there is for
something in it.
Santos.
Well, there's a lot in it for Diddy.
Right.
But there's
What's in it for Santos?
There's something in it for Trump. Epstein. That right now there is a woman who is not being sworn in by Mike
Into
Johnson,
Congress.
who will be the 218th vote to release the Epstein files. That would be a majority. And they are doing everything they can not to swear her in. But it's looming. And if Diddy gets commuted, the sentence gets commuted, that's going to grab.
At that point, it stopped being just about Diddy or Cassie. It turned into a story about Trump, the media, and timing. Because according to TMZ, some people believe this potential commutation wasn't even about justice. It was about distraction. Right when this rumor surfaced, Congress was reportedly just one vote away from releasing the long-awaited Epstein files. Thousands of sealed documents tied to one of the most controversial scandals in U.S. history. If those files become public, they could shake some of the most powerful names in politics. On both sides.
I mean,
Gets a
Diddy and
distraction,
get more
maybe
of a
for a
distraction.
little, for a week and a half.
But it's
at
been a
the
series
same-
of distractions for 10 months.
Yeah, no, I got you. I just don't know. I just don't know how much play you get out of that because
You get good play.
You get good play.
And by the way,
play.
and by the way, I think you'd get longer play in commuting Diddy than you did George Santos.
Without question, but
Yes.
the Epstein files aren't going to come out tomorrow. Even if they swear in the 218th Congresswoman, they're not going to all of a sudden release them en masse the next day. It's going to take some time. And I hear what you're saying, and he definitely wants a distraction from Epstein. I got that.
They don't have to know what the end game is.
Right,
They're just
right,
delaying.
right.
They just keep delaying.
I'm going to say something that I've gone back and forth on whether I should even say it or not.
Ooh.
I don't know why we got this story, because what occurred to me was that if it becomes public, maybe he's less likely to do it. So there's something I'm missing.
I think that's right.
And I don't know what I'm missing here. There's something I'm missing.
Yeah, I think I don't think you're missing anything. I think that Donald Trump reacts negatively when a story comes out that he has not personally authorized.
But his point is, why wouldn't these sources have thought that through?
Well, sources are sources. People talk for different reasons.
Hey, enough said.
Hey, I'm Love Jones, rep in Brooklyn, New York, and I am not at all surprised that Trump would consider commuting Diddy. I mean, they did used to party together, and the hip-hop community absolutely loved Trump back in the day, okay?
Meanwhile, Trump hasn't directly denied any of it. His team brushed it off as fake news, but even that response sounded vague. No clear statement, no firm denial, just deflection. And from Diddy's side? Total silence. His team hasn't said a word since the TMZ story came out, which only made people believe there might actually be something going on behind the scenes. The only real comment we've heard came from Mark Garagos, who hinted that there's some truth to TMZ's report. But Cassie's anger? That's very public. Sources close to her say she feels like the justice system is being toyed with, that her bravery, her testimony, everything she went through might get buried under backdoor deals and celebrity privilege.